suddenly exploded with no explanation. Then other homes began experiencing sudden fires. Washing machines, computers, and even water pipes ignited without warning. Authorities cut all power, but the fires kept burning. And finally, the village was evacuated. The fires stopped, but when residents returned 4 months later, they suddenly started up again. For the next 10 years, the village was struck with spontaneous fires, sometimes 50 in a single night. And even though police closed the case, many believe the fires can't be explained. They set a fire in their dorm building, hoping to set off the smoke alarm as a prank, but within minutes, the flames exploded. They burned through the couches and melted the carpet, causing thick smoke to fill the halls. Students woke up confused and rushed to the stairs. Some even jumped out windows to escape, but 3 people were killed, while 58 others were injured. Police chased down the pranksters, and one of them even ran the police over to avoid arrest. But finally, they were captured and sent to prison for their crime. The couple woke from their sleep as fires tore through the neighborhood. They tried to escape by car, but the flames had already surrounded them. With no way out, they jumped into a neighbor's pool. For the next 6 hours, they stayed underwater, only coming up for air. Tragically, they were forced to watch as their home was completely destroyed. But finally, the fire died down, and they climbed out, exhausted but alive. A massive fire consumed the barn, threatening to kill the 18 piglets inside. But firefighters put out the blaze and rescued the suffering animals. For the next 6 months, they lived peacefully on the farm. But these pigs had been raised for meat and were soon slaughtered. They were turned into sausages and gifted to the firefighters. And they ended up grilling the exact same pigs they had saved just months before. If you fart in the middle of a surgery, it can cause a fire. And this is because your farts release small amounts of highly flammable gases. If the surgeon is using a laser, the tool can create sparks as they cut tissue. If enough gas builds up near the surgical site, the spark can ignite it. This can cause a sudden burst of fire, which can burn you and the surgeon. The woman burst into flames in her home in 1885. The fire consumed her body, leaving only her feet intact. And her husband died in the other room, suffocated by the smoke. This is known as spontaneous human combustion. Victims seemingly ignite from the inside out, burn to ash, while their surroundings stay untouched. Scientists have been baffled for years. Some theories point to a buildup of gases or alcohol inside the body. Others say it's just a misinterpretation of nearby fire sources. But in the end, this phenomenon is still a mystery. Two pans caught fire on his stove. Panicked, he grabbed one and threw it outside, only for it to land in the back seat of his convertible. He grabbed the second pan, but he tripped, and it landed right on his couch, igniting it. In minutes, his home and car were engulfed in flames. It seemed like an unlucky accident, but investigators were suspicious. And they found that there was no way a fire could have started this way. Turns out the man had started the fires himself to get insurance money. And instead of cash, he got 5 years of probation. He would hold the fuel in his mouth and spit it into a flame, causing a massive fireball. But this time, he accidentally swallowed some of the liquid. As he brought the flame to his lips, he burped, and the fire ignited the vapors, traveling down his throat and into his stomach. This triggered a huge explosion. The crowd erupted in applause, thinking it was part of the act. But they soon realized he had been blown to pieces as body parts rained down, and his head was later found in the popcorn machine. The grill suddenly exploded, setting them both on fire. You see, the chef had drawn a heart on the grill with lighter fluid for her birthday. But when he lit it, the entire thing ignited, catching them both in the explosion. The woman ran to the bathroom, putting out the flames with cold water. But her face, neck, and chest were seriously burned. The staff did nothing to help, but she did get a meal for free. A family ran from their burning home in the middle of the night. The parents and 4 kids escaped, but 5 children never made it out. After the fire died down, rescuers searched the ash, but no remains were found. Experts said the blaze was so hot it completely cremated them, but it only burned for 45 minutes, which isn't long enough to turn bones into ash. Now, some thought the kids had been kidnapped, and others even claimed to see the children alive, hundreds of miles away. The parents never stopped searching, convinced the fire wasn't the end of their children, but they have never been found.
Driving too far, I'd like to change my point of view. I feel so lonely, I'm waiting for you, but nothing ever happens, and I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky and all.